Hello everyone, I'm in Strasbourg, but I've always got my eyes on what's happening in Westminster. As we head to Brexit Freedom Day, over the past week, more daggers have been plunged into democracy. We are seeing the last thrashes of anger, resentment, derangement, hatred and lies, all to stop Brexit. Just when you think Westminster can't sink to any lower depths, desperate to stop Brexit, every trick in the book is being tried. Over the past 2 years, they've wheeled out the mad, the bad, the Bransons, Obama, Blair, Major, Heseltine, and the shameless with EU-funded pensions, Mandelson, Patton and Kinnock, and the EU-funded CBI, the Institute for Fiscal Studies. Most of the trade unions are now, with only weeks away from Freedom Day, their tricks and Brexit derangement syndrome is at peak fever pitch. Remain MPs, aided by Remainer and Speaker Napoleon Bercow, were allowed to go against all parliamentary rules and to vote against the finance bill, aping the US Democrats to starve Brexit of cash. 20 faux Conservative MPs backed the bill brought forward by Labour's Yvette Cooper. Ex-footballer turned well-paid commentator and part-time crisp salesman Gary Lineker tweets a fake NHS leaflet warning of drug shortages post-Brexit. Over 9,000 people retweeted. He doesn't worry about the cancer patients, those with diabetes or other life-threatening illnesses. He's hell-bent to win a memes war in his hatred of Brexit. He was called a liar by the government's own Department of Health. And then the chia latte swilling organic quinoa marching middle classes from the metrocracy, called the People's Vote, marching on in their designer-clad feet and pedicured toes, claim that 700,000 people attended their rally at its march back in October 2018. But it was revealed under a Freedom of Information question that the Greater London Authority put the numbers at 250,000. Aided and abetted by the BBC and the MSM helicopters and the print media. More lies. And then there is the increasingly unhinged fake Conservative MP Anna Soubry, who complains to legacy media that she is being challenged and threatened by voters. The legacy media agrees with Miss Soubry, as they too have stepped out of their gilded cages studios and are on the receiving end of the wrath of the great unwashed, uneducated, uncouth, working class Brexit voters. Miss Soubry demands more respect for her position. As a criminal barrister, she complains that being called a Nazi and a racist is a criminal act. Unedifying language, true, but since when was that a criminal act in the UK? Yet she was filmed outside Parliament calling Brexiteers fascists and racists. In another interview last week on harassment, Miss Soubry and Labour MP Jess Phillips went on full attack mode against a male Brexit commentator to shut him down. These two female politicians give us all a bad name. They perpetuate every myth about women that is used against us. Shrill, hormonal, irrational, emotional, always right, never wrong, and can't have a reasoned argument without hectoring. Let's be clear about what they're trying to do here. Their outrage is fake and dressed up to close down their opposition and persuade the British public that if they are Brexiteers, then they are tainted by racism and hatred. They do this because their time is running out. Where is the outrage when the mainly elderly, white, male and pale middle-class Remainers who have been camped out and financed outside Parliament in fancy dress, who act like deranged circus clowns and shout at the BBC's cameras during interviews? No, they're praised by the anti-Brexit bias media as expressing their frustration through the democratic process of the right to demonstrate. And the language has changed. Left-wing Remain journalist Polly Toynbee and her friends start to label all Brexiteers as far right. But when the far left get angry, it's activism. As part of their strategy, Remain MPs now demand more police protection because they are frightened of violence. Again, this is false. But think about how this plays out to the voters. They have to make do with a slash London police force dealing with record numbers of murders and knife crime, while these people bleat about a few hurty words. These are the same MPs that agree with the Met Police, wasting 800 of their own police officers' time by tracking hate crime while sitting behind their computers. The Remain MPs blame the democratic outcome of the vote. They say the genie was let out of the bottle. We need to address the needs of the genie and the people, but it's all fake words and fake concern. These fake tantrums are all part of the plan to stop Brexit. Put the genie firmly back in the bottle and carry on with the old business as usual, being ruled by the Brussels elite so they don't have to. It's time for May to go and install a Leave Prime Minister. It's time to remove the whip from the Remain Conservative MPs and to deselect them. that will focus the minds of the politicians and clear out the Conservative Party and deliver Brexit as we, the people, demand.